talking about a tip no golf coach has ever told you. This is where we start to train for golf, we don't practice. When we talk about other sports, football, cricket, tennis, we like to use the word I'm going training for that. I'm going football training, I'm going cricket training. Golf, we say I'm going to practice. For me, they're two different things. Today, we're going to be talking about how we can train for better golf, and this is something no coach has ever told you. You know what? Because I find this really funny. Well, not funny, but I'm guilty of this, and anytime you go for a golf lesson, you're guilty of this. You're told how to deal with good shots and how to hit good shots, but ask yourself this question. Have you ever been told of how to deal with bad shots? I certainly never was. But it's crazy. This is a game we measure on how good your bad shot is. So surely we need to know how to deal with them? My main aim on this channel is to help you enjoy your golf and hopefully raise your level of your game as well. Now in today's video we're talking about a tip that you've never been told before. We never get told how to deal with a bad shot. It's absolutely crazy, it's staggering. Ask yourself the question. Now, because I make this content for you guys, I want to know exactly what you want to see on this channel. So please do join in, make sure you hit that subscribe button, become a member of the team, and comment down below what you want to see on this channel. The word I want to use here is acceptance. We're never told to sometimes accept a bad shot. It's staggering. The amount of times you hit a bad shot in a round, you name me a round, go on if you can, I'd be amazed. You name me a round when you can go and hit every single shot exactly where you wanted to do it. You might have a hole where you do that, you might have you might feel like you have a round, but really when you look back, you'd probably get away with a few shots. And those days that you play your best golf, I find a lot of you accept your bad shots a little bit better. So I want to talk to you about 3 rules of how you can start to accept your shots. So rule number 1, I've hit drive off the 18th here, absolutely stunning place here. This is one of my favourite holes at Penina, par 5 down the stretch, make or break hole really. This is a hole where as a lower handicap player you could be going for this in 2, but because of where I put it, I can't now go for this green. So number 1 of our rule of acceptance, back at the tee, I want you to have a 5-yard bubble. So I want you to trace 5 yards around your golf ball, okay? As soon as you step into that bubble, or as soon as you step out of that bubble, you can't think about that shot again. Or you can't tell yourself off that shot again. Because it'd be unrealistic for me to say, right, okay, never tell yourself off. Because sometimes we need to do that. Sometimes we need to get rid of that anger. So the 5-yard bubble, back at the tee, hitting a shot here, you can now tell yourself off. As soon as I step out of this bubble, flick the switch, click your fingers, do something different, put your concentration somewhere else, and forget it. Tip number 1, use the 5-yard bubble. Manufactured that one. Number 2, I call it the bad temper jar. Now this is something I have to admit my dad did with me. So every time I had a bad tantrum that affected the next shot, and that's the important thing, if you have a bad tantrum that affects your next shot, that's when it really becomes a problem. You don't want one shot to affect 2, affect 3, affect your whole round or affect your whole hole. You really don't want it to do that because that's when it starts to really affect you and your golf. So the bad temper jar is a jar that you can have at home. Every time you have a bad tantrum, a bad temper that affects the next shot, I want you to go and put 50p in that jar. Tell you what, if you soon start racking up the 50p's, we'll soon start losing our temper and we'll soon stop letting one shot affect the next. So the hardest thing I think about the acceptance rule is if we're super passionate about playing golf, performing our best, lowering our handicap and beating our friends on the golf course and it doesn't happen, it's then hard to accept it. It really is, and I'm saying that from my own point of view of when I found it hard to accept playing bad golf. But we talked about 2 rules so far, about number 1, using the bubble. Number 2, using the bad temper jar. Remember, you only use that if it then affects the next shot. The last one on our list, and how we can make acceptance a little bit easier, the rule that I want to use is, how many times do you look back on a round when you get in, or when you and your playing partners and you think, God, that stupid mistake there cost me. If I hadn't have just done that and thought about it simply, I wouldn't have done it. Because a lot of the time when we make decisions in haste, we make irrational decisions out on the golf course. For example, I hit a bad shot there. I could have easily tried to get a 3-wood out, curve it round the tree, start it low, get it high, get it on the green. When really it wasn't something that was optional. It wasn't even in the repertoire of shots that I can play. So taking a step back, taking that acceptance and thinking, right, okay, if I was actually in the clubhouse now and looking back on my round, would I be happy with my decision? And if you are, we can pull the trigger. So I made a pretty good shot there. I took the acceptance of a bad shot. I put it back in the fairway. Now I've got opportunity here on the par 5 to put it on the green. Well, it's quite fitting really to finish on a really bad shot. Thank you for watching today's video on Alex Elliott Golf. It's so important this, and it's never talked about by golf professionals. Learn to accept bad shots because we are going to hit them. And if we think we're not going to hit them, we're only kidding ourselves and we're only limiting our potential. Break that ceiling down, start training for your golf, use the acceptance rule, and I can guarantee you're going to see some lower scores this year.